All right, guys, we got Bitcoin in that range today, 107, between 107 and 110. Not too much to speak about on Bitcoin. I'm not going to talk too much about it. What I want to talk about today was, you're seeing a lot, and we've seen this over the last couple of years. First, we saw MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy, it was a shitty software company. It wasn't even really profitable. And Michael Saylor came up with a plan knowing that Bitcoin was going to pump, especially over the last couple of years. He decided to basically just start buying Bitcoin. Took a shitty company, buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin pumps crazy, especially as we go into the bull market. And his company is up significantly by just buying Bitcoin. The actual company does nothing except for buy Bitcoin. Well, you're starting to see a lot of other companies follow the Michael Saylor lead. Now, eventually this is going to lead these companies into basically the pits of hell. But short term, it could work out for them. And one company you're seeing right now is GameStop. As you guys know, well, here's MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy is down 10% today. So I wouldn't be buying MicroStrategy just because it's pumped so much. But if you're looking for a risky play, I was almost thinking, how about GameStop? I've been a gamer all my life. Not as much now that I'm older, but I do collect the retro systems that I have in the background, Rob the Robot, NES. I spent a lot of time at GameStop and Funkoland before it was GameStop. And GameStop basically just destroyed gaming for me. It was just a shitty company. You go in there, they try to upsell you everything. They're miserable. Had a very corporate vibe inside GameStop. And I basically just stopped going. And I would just start buying everything online, which is pretty much what everybody is anyway. But the whole gaming thing, the physical gaming, that's dead. There's no future for that. So what GameStop is doing right now, they just announced this today, and I think it's actually kind of smart for the short term, is they just said we're going to just buy Bitcoin, which is a good thing to do, in my opinion, if you're a shitty company about to go bankrupt, especially as we're going into a bull market. Bitcoin might go to $200,000, $150,000. It's definitely got room to go. And as you guys know, today Bitcoin's down, 2%? I think Bitcoin's down like 2% today. Well, MicroStrategy's down 11%. So these stocks that are based in Bitcoin, they pump hard when Bitcoin pumps, but they also dump a little bit harder. So GameStop is a company where it pretty much became a meme stock. So you had a bunch of people just pumping GameStop a couple years ago. It went to all-time highs. Millionaires were made buying GameStop at like a couple dollars a share or whatever it was. I don't even know what the bottom was. But it's down now. And even after this announcement today, GameStop is actually down like 5 or 6% today, even with this announcement. So here's the announcement. GameStop buys Bitcoin worth $513 million in crypto push. Now, it's not a lot, but it's something, and they're probably going to buy more. GameStop has purchased Bitcoin worth about $513 million. The company said on Wednesday as the ailing video game retailer looks to capitalize on the growing adoption of cryptocurrency. GameStop said in a filing it acquired 4,710 Bitcoins, although it did not disclose the period for the purchases. The world's largest cryptocurrency was trading blah, 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 blah at 108 when they announced it. So you're seeing a lot of these companies now that have nothing to offer, just basically buying Bitcoin, which I think for GameStop, I mean, if you were to buy GameStop, I think the stock is selling right now for like $30 and Bitcoin goes to $150,000. You're probably going to have like a $200 and $300 GameStop stock price. Not to mention, it's also a meme coin. So people might just decide to pump the hell out of it anyway as Bitcoin starts to pump. I'm actually seriously considering taking like $5,000 and buying some GameStop. I never thought I would do that. I haven't decided yet fully, but I really think GameStop might be able to pump. Now, the negative side to this is, and we're going to play something from Rand Nooner as well, once we go into that bear market, 6 months from now, 8 months from now, 3 months from now, whenever it is, I mean, GameStop owning Bitcoin is going to, it might just put the company out of business, to be honest with you. There might be no more GameStop. I mean, I can tell you guys, all the GameStops around me have already shut down. We've got one left, and I don't even go there. But we used to have a GameStop. Every shopping center around me had a GameStop. They're all closed. This is a dead company. It's a dead company. Just like MicroStrategy was basically a dead company until we started buying Bitcoin. So I'm going to watch this, but I actually think that like nothing's really been interesting to me. I got plenty of Cardano, I got the Theta, I got all these other coins. I'm not buying any more of them. But maybe I'll pick up some GameStop just because it's a meme coin and it pumps really hard. Now, you got to get out of it. If GameStop pumps up, does like a 2 or 3x, you got to get out of it. You can't hold it. But I'm kind of fascinated with this. But also, like I said, you have to realize when it dumps, it's going to dump extremely hard. Rand Neuner talks a little bit about this. Just how all these companies are buying Bitcoin, but it's probably going to end in disaster in the end. Let's play a little bit of this.
Of getting blown out of the market, of these companies getting blown out of the market, is very, very, very high. And I think when that happens, a lot of retail is going to get wrecked, and that's going to take down the assets in the market. I don't think that's going to happen now, though. I think we're at the beginning of the cycle, not the end of the cycle. But we have to pay attention to this, because I do think that in every cycle, in every 4-year cycle that we have in Bitcoin, the cycle deleverages because of the cycle ends because of a deleveraging event. So I want to quickly talk about the deleveraging event in the last cycle. In the last cycle, we had multiple deleveraging events. The first one was Luna. Luna was effectively creating money where money didn't exist. That's a leveraging event. Then you had a second creation of money where money didn't exist, and that was these lending and borrowing companies. A lot of them were leveraged against Luna. And then you had FTX, which was leveraged against money that Sam Bankman-Fried actually created. And that's what ended the last cycle. If you look at the cycle before, what ended the cycle before was these ICOs that created this fake wealth where wealth actually didn't exist. It was fake leverage where leverage actually didn't exist. So every cycle ends because of a deleveraging event. And my suspicion is that the end of this cycle won't be a 4-year cycle, but it'll be the deleveraging of these highly leveraged crypto treasury companies becoming deleveraged. And I'll break that down for you, and I'll show you exactly why I think that's going to happen. But keep your eyes open for it. That wasn't exactly what I wanted to talk about today. We digressed a little bit. But keep your eyes open for it, because yes, today we should celebrate because you are creating incremental buyers in the market, and you are creating leverage vehicles for retail investors to be, and institutional investors to invest in crypto. But in the long term, the problem is that leverage ends cycles. And I do think that the leverage in this cycle is going to be these leverage vehicles trying to copy Michael Saylor. And the reason why they're going to try, the way that they're going to try and beat Michael Saylor is they're going to try and take on more leverage, because that's going to be the only thing.
Anyway, and I think it's pretty obvious right now. Previous cycle, I could see it as well. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while, pretty much I called the whole Celsius, BlockFi, Terra Luna. I said all that's going to collapse the market. It was so obvious to me. These lending protocols where they were just basically creating interest out of thin air. They're giving you 5% interest on your Bitcoin, but how are they generating 5%? Like, it didn't make any sense. So it's pretty obvious now. You see all these companies buying Bitcoin. Every single one of them is going to get wrecked, at least in the short term, at least as we go into the bear market. I think Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy, as I've been saying, is going to be the biggest one to get wrecked. He might be able to come out of it. It might just be a miserable couple years for MicroStrategy, where his stock is trading low and everybody calls him an idiot. And then if we go back into a bull market again, he may do just fine. But when you have these companies like GameStop and these other shitty companies, I can't remember. There's a few other ones that have been buying Bitcoin. This could basically destroy them, and it could actually be the catalyst that not only takes Bitcoin and crypto into a bear market, it will be the catalyst. I can tell you guys that 100%. The catalyst for this next bear market, whether it starts October, January, next summer, and the end of this summer, is going to be a lot of these companies who just bought way too much Bitcoin. And of course, as Rand Neuner says, they're using leverage. They're basically trying to outdo each other. And that's going to take us into the next bear market. It's pretty obvious. I mean, I would bet $10,000 right now that's what takes us into the bear market. You guys can say in my comments, it's just, I don't know, it's like clear as day. It's like looking up at the blue sky. But the thing I want to talk about today is just like there's money to be made. Even buying MicroStrategy right now, you could possibly, if Bitcoin goes to $150,000, you could probably double your money Maybe get like a 50 or 60%. But GameStop, a company that's trading at like $28 right now, $30, if Bitcoin does well, which we all think it's probably going to do well, you're going to see a lot of these Bitcoin investors who are also stock investors, but they're also meme coin investors. They play Doge, penny stock investors. They're going to come flooding into GameStop, especially because people are going to say, "Look, Bitcoin's doing well. I've already missed the boat on Bitcoin. It's $120,000. It's $110,000. I'm not buying that. But what else can I buy? What else is associated with Bitcoin that's going to give me gains?" I think GameStop's going to be on that list. Like I said, shitty company, shitty stores, shitty people working there. It's just all around shitty. I hate GameStop. I really do. But because of this reason, and because of the roaring kitty guy, because of how Bitcoin, they pumped GameStop before previously, and people became millionaires, then it pretty much dumped. Why can't that happen again now that they're buying Bitcoin? I think it could. It's obviously risky. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do it or not. But if they continue to buy Bitcoin over there at GameStop, to follow what Michael Saylor's doing, and we go into a roaring bull market at some point this summer. I mean, we're at $108,000 Bitcoin right now, so we're already at a bull market for Bitcoin. I could definitely see GameStop really doing well. So anyway, that's what I'm going to talk about. There's definitely a risk involved, but if you're looking for something to kind of buy right now, GameStop might be it. You also here's Vivek Ramaswamy. His firm wants to buy biotech companies to bet on Bitcoin. So now all these companies are coming in as Bitcoin's in a bull market. Like, this is the worst time. Like, it'll be one thing if GameStop said I'm buying Bitcoin a year and a half ago in the bear market and Vivek is all in it. But these guys, we're at the top. We're coming up to the top on Bitcoin right now. $140,000, $150,000. Yeah, maybe we get to $200,000. I don't think it's going to happen. But you're seeing all these companies now just like wanting to get into Bitcoin. And I think that's really going to help the Bitcoin price. And of course, eventually that's going to flood into altcoins. But hey, GameStop might be a good stinky pinky. Put a couple $1,000s in, maybe, 3-4 extra money if you get out at the right time. I'm not recommending anybody do anything. I'm just kind of like, I just find this interesting that a lot of these shitty companies are now basically just trying to survive by buying Bitcoin. And it's almost like that could work for them in the short term. But once we go into the bear market, this could be like, by this time next year, GameStop could be over. There could be no more GameStop. Like, that's how, like, especially if Bitcoin ends up dropping, 70, 80%, 60% like it usually does. Because remember, like I said with MicroStrategy, Bitcoin's down 1 or 2% today, if that, and MicroStrategy is down 11%. That's going to be even more for GameStop. So should be interesting, but we'll see what happens. Like and subscribe. Talk to you later.